That's right. That coverage is horrible. But welcome to the Instant Classic. You had to be there to understand. You had to be there. You don't get it. Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an Instant Classic. And we are back after like a month away from our reviews. We finally get another NXT. It was like a month. Okay, it felt like a month. People cried. People cried. Speaking of NXT
Crying? Oh,
and crying, I guess. Tears of joy. I got some custom shirts in. The other day. I'm happy. I'm happy.
so
And I got the Sami Zayn and the Xenia. So yeah, because they were doing a buy one get one free on T-shirts the other day, and I was like, what? Why not?
so WWE can make parodies of people's shirts, but if someone made a parody of a WWE shirt, they would get destroyed financially.
Apparently, because I don't know. I'm surprised there hasn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm surprised WWE did that because no other companies exist to WWE, which is weird.
We
But
need a
anyway,
brass ring club. That's what we need. A brass ring club.
they do. That'd be cool. I would buy that shirt. Um, but only one person would be on it. It would be a John Cena shirt because he's the only one who grabs the brass ring, apparently, according to Vince McMahon. Anyway, let's get into the NXT review before we go on a Cena rant, which you almost, got me on there. You almost did it. You knew I was gonna go for a John Cena.
I didn't. I didn't mention Cena actually.
You knew it was coming though. We open with basically a review of last week's title match, which was Apollo Crews versus Finn Balor, where Baron Corbin attacked Crews and Balor. Then Samoa Joe came out seemingly to kind of save Finn, and Crews, but ends up turning on Finn Balor, which I wrote up the review last week and then we didn't do it, because that's what we do. We don't do reviews after we do them. But anyway, I don't know if anyone else thought it was really it felt really predictable that Samoa Joe was going to turn on Finn Balor, just the way he was acting when he came out. I don't know if anyone else thought that, but I was like, oh, come on. I saw it a mile away. But we did review that, and that was a heavy kind of focus of tonight's show. I felt like the bad blood between Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, and then Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, that kind of thing. There's a tag team match coming up. I know it. Or a fatal four-way or something like that. I don't know. That's what WWE does. But any thoughts on this opening video package review? Since we haven't done a review in a couple weeks, they helped us out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know what they're gonna do. But let me talk about the video package real quick. I liked it. Got me caught up a little bit. I was a little upset that I missed Balor versus Cruz. I was very upset. But I'm glad it got interrupted, so I didn't have to miss it. I thought it was kind of cool that they had a NXT title match on a normal NXT show and not a takeover. Thought that was cool. They also had another one later on in the night. But I I don't know what I was gonna say before I started saying things. So that's fine. um, Oh yeah, I forgot it completely. I thought this was a really cool video package though. I was a little upset that I missed that match because I knew it was gonna be really good. I just didn't know what week it was gonna be on. The Joe turn, I saw it coming even watching the video package. But I was like, that's interesting. And from the promo tonight, you gotta love heel Samoa Joe. You gotta love some heel Samoa Joe. He's gonna bring out the Nation of Violence. He's gonna be wearing those freaking what was he wearing, like leggings or something that one time? Gonna have the little face paint. Uh, he's gonna have it all. I'm ready. Nation of Violence is coming back.
All right. So next, this was almost gonna be DJ's match because it featured his boy, the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, versus Baron Corbin. And out of nowhere, Apollo Crews attacks Baron Corbin. Corbin eventually retreats, leaving Apollo in the ring, wanting more. He's like, "Hey, DJ, the match never started. It never happened. I, yeah, it didn't. It did. They know that Tyler Dillinger just isn't good enough. He wasn't good enough for Jason Jordan to have a
He's not
feud.
good enough.
And he's not
Just
good enough.
perfect. He's
Not good
He's
enough
just perfect.
to have a match with Baron
Perfect,
Corbin.
Casey. A
He's
perfect
not good
10.
enough. He's not. Any thoughts on this almost match and the attack?
This should have been a match because that's how we need to start the show with the perfect 10 Ty Dillinger. For some reason, my network was freezing up a lot, and I watched it live at 4 o'clock today. So I was trying to watch this match or watch what was going on, and I just saw Apollo Crews just out of nowhere come attacking people. So I kind of like this like aggressive Apollo Crews. It's a different side than we've seen of him, even the little bit of a time he's been in NXT. So I kind of like it. I'm interested. It's got me into it.
Yeah. So next, a match that I was kind of looking forward to this week. Since it was announced last week, I believe it was. We got a 6-person tag team match. We got Bailey and the Hype Bros. Can we just call them like the Legion of Hype? Just put them together and call them the Legion of Hype, or like Team Caffeine. That's a WWE thing, right? Just Team something. That's how they do. Team Bad, Team Bella, Team Caffeine.
Team MZB.
Team MZB versus Team ABM. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
No, it would be BAM. They would do that.
Team BAM, featuring Alexa Bliss, Buddy Murphy, and Wesley Blake. I'm gonna give you this match because I was gonna give you the Ty Dillinger match, and then that match didn't happen. So I'm gonna give you this one.
I I just need more Alexa Bliss on my screen, please. That girl, she has just a piece of my heart right now. Every time I see her, I'm like, yeah. I think I'm excited for next week. We'll get into that in a little bit, but this match was really good. The Hype Bros, they were in control because they hype. And Blake and Murphy, they couldn't really do anything because they ain't hype. They ain't hype. So they won't hype. I apologize, but they just won't hype. But distractions kind of give Blake and Murphy the control in this match. Ryder got isolated. Bliss, kind of tries to do what she can. She ends up running away with the NXT Women's title. Bailey doesn't run after her, which I thought was a really cool like little nuance because a lot of times you see like you take my title, I run after you. You take my title, I run after you. Like 10 times out of 10, that's what happens. But Bailey kind of stayed in the match, ended up delivering a Bailey to belly to Murphy. Then Murphy gets hit by the Hype Rider for the win for the Hype Bros and Bailey. I thought this was a good match. I liked it. I love the Hype Bros. Hype Bros and Bailey, like as a team, is really cool. Blake and Murphy, they're still Blake and Murphy. But I thought this was a good match. I definitely liked it.
Yes, the Bailey to belly on Murphy was the best part of the match. I'm not gonna lie. That was amazing. Speaking of Alexa Bliss and Buddy Murphy, I didn't mention this because I haven't been on the show in a while, but I was on vacation in Florida a couple weeks ago, and I was right next to both of them. Right next to him, we were basically shoulder to shoulder, which was kind of cool because I was at Disney World. If you didn't know, I was on vacation in Disney World, and it's cool because Alexa Bliss and Buddy Murphy are still kind of they're big to NXT fans and to some WWE fans, because not all WWE fans still are really into NXT, which seems weird. But it's kind of cool that they're still, I don't want to say small enough, but they can still kind of go out in public and, they're not mobbed. A lot of people really didn't know who they were. And that's kind of part of why I didn't really make a big deal about it because, they're out in public. They're trying to, have a nice day. I don't want to, if it was somebody like, like a Seth Rollins or a John Cena, a lot of people would know who they were. So that was just kind of cool, seeing them out in public and kind of.
If it was John Cena, you would have got us like an intro, right?
If it was John Cena, I'd have found a steel chair and I would have been arrested. But no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I might try to. I would try to get an intro. Probably not because I feel like WWE would have like licensing, whatever. Can't do that because I don't know. But that was pretty cool. But no, this was a good match. I felt like Alexa Bliss stealing the title was written by Vince McMahon because that would be something that Vince would write, along with a segment later on in the show that I'll get to that I'm pretty sure was written all by Vince McMahon. But so next week we will have a NXT Women's Title match with Bayley versus Alexa Bliss, which kind of confuses me because the Hype Bros are not going to be with Bayley, which is kind of, I don't know why they're not doing anything, continuing this kind of team sort of thing, having her back at least if you don't do a, Hype Bros versus Blake and Murphy feud as well, because they're really not doing anything with them right now. They're not really doing anything specific, I don't feel like, with Blake and Murphy, and they're not really doing anything specific with the Hype Bros. So, that's something that they could do, but they're not apparently. But at least we'll have a title match next week that we look forward to. But moving on, we get a quick video promo pre-recorded from the Ascension, just basically accepting Jason Jordan and Chad Gable's challenge. I could not take this seriously. They're too intense for that. I don't know. They're trying to be more intense than they are, and they still have the face paint. They need to go back to the original Ascension that everyone liked and, that were booked on shows, that we're on every week. I haven't personally seen the Ascension in like 3 months. I mean, I don't watch SmackDown and Raw as much as I used to, but they might be on there. I don't know. But at least that's cool that we're going to be able to see a match with the Ascension. We haven't seen a good Ascension match in a while, it feels like. Obviously, they're probably going to put over Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. It feels like that's something that they're going to book, but we'll see. Any thoughts on the accepted challenge? Because they're ready, willing, and Gable.
Yeah, I'm excited for this match. It should be a good match. The Ascension's really good, just no freaking chances given on the main roster. I'm kind of hoping, I like the Ascension a lot. I like the intensity. I like, I don't hate the face paint. I wish it was gone, but I don't hate it, I guess. I'm just interested. I want to see how this match goes. It should be pretty good. They're with Stardust right now. They're called the Cosmic Wasteland with Stardust. So I don't know what they're doing with it. What happens? They're trying to start something with Stardust and Cesaro. So when Cesaro comes out there, Stardust just appears in the crowd with the Ascension, and he has a Stardust section sign. So they're trying to do something with him. I don't know what they're doing with the Ascension. They just happen to be there with Stardust. But yeah, I'm ready for this match, though. I'm ready, willing, and Gable for this match.
All right. Well, I heard it's actually they're gonna turn it into a 6-man. They're gonna add Stardust and they're gonna add another wrestler. I forgot his name. You used to be a really big fan of his. Back in the original Nexus. Oh God, what is that guy's name? I'll think of it later. Moving on. I had to get it in there. I had to. I know.
Was that a Michael Tarver reference?
I know how much you love the MT. You know that the big Mike Tarver. Moving on.
Please don't ever bring that man back. He's so bad. Like, I can put up with Eva Marie versus Cameron more than I can put up with Michael frickin' Tarver.
Oh, that would be a bad match. Eva Marie versus. Oh.
I can put up with Eva Marie versus Cameron versus Dana Brooke.
Oh. No, I need that thought out of my head. Next, we're moving on. Next, we see Nia Jax walking in the back, I guess getting ready for a match, which was kind of weird because she was taking wrist tape off. I was like, what?
You gotta get that pre-wrist tape, Casey. Pre-wrist.
Yeah, because that makes... Anyway, so she is approached by... Why is she still not in France? Eva Marie. Not like that. Just not away from, that was not a joke. That was bad timing. Bad timing.
That was horrible timing is what that was.
That was... Why is she not still in another country that is not in Florida right now? That's what I meant to say, because I don't want her on my TV. I don't want her on my TV. That's what it is.
Not that bad.
She gets approached by Eva Marie. Apparently Eva Marie is proposing something that didn't happen later on. I was so confused at this. I was like, what's going on? So yeah, they go behind a glass door because, we can't see them or hear them through a door. That's how doors work. When they're closed, nothing gets through them ever. Logic from WWE. So I don't know. I guess they're trying to build something up in the future with these two. I don't know if they're going for like a female version of EC3 and Tyrus. I don't know. Eva Marie and Nia Jax. I can see WWE doing that. But we'll see. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, that was interesting. I thought that was really an interesting thing. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. No idea. I'm kind of interested though. Everything's pretty interesting at this point, I guess. How many times can I say interesting in this one portion of the video? But I'm interested. It's gonna be interesting.
That's interesting. You know what else is interesting? The interesting questions that the interviewer / cameraman had for the interesting Apollo Crews. Let's see what is interesting about, the attacks on Apollo Crews, because we're interested. I can't keep it going. I can't do it. So the cameraman / interviewer person, asked Apollo Crews about what happened with him and Balor and Baron Corbin tonight, with the attack earlier. Apollo says that Baron interfered in his match last week when he was so close to realizing his dream. Apollo says, what is he? Is he mad? Is he mad? I threw him out of the #1 contender battle royal a couple weeks ago. Is he mad? You mad, bro? Are you mad? He didn't say all that. He said, is he mad? I kind of added the, are you mad, bro? I wish he had said, are you mad, bro? Because that would have been awesome. I would have been thoroughly happy. But anyway, what Apollo Crews does say is when he gets his hands on Baron Corbin, he's going to break him. So, apparently they are, trying to build up this feud between Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, which I think is going to be good. Um, you know, since they're not, you know, bringing Baron to the main roster, one of those guys that's been there as long as, Tyler Breeze, who finally got up to the main roster. I just don't know that there's too much more for Baron Corbin to do in NXT, but apparently they don't think he's ready for the main roster. I don't know. So I guess we're going to get this feud between Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, which should be good, especially if we're getting that more kind of intense side of Apollo Crews, a little bit more angry, I guess, side of him. Because like DJ said earlier, we've really just gotten the happy, excited side of Apollo Crews. Happy that he finally made it to WWE, things like that. Any thoughts on Apollo Crews breaking the lone wolf?
When we talk about interview people, I start to miss Devin Taylor a little bit. I didn't appreciate her as much as I should have while she was there. So I'm starting to miss her. But yeah, I like this new side of Apollo Crews. I think yeah, I agree. I think it could be a really a really cool like transition in his character. This aggressive side of Apollo Crews. I'm interested. I want to dang on it. I want to see. I want to see what's gonna happen with Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin because I like Baron Corbin too,
Yeah.
and I love you, Devin Taylor.
You know, now that Devin Taylor's gone, we have to deal with the cameraman / interviewer because they can't afford to hire somebody else to do it. They gotta have the cameraman do the two jobs. It's sad. It's sad. And it was I was waiting for Devin Taylor versus Dana Brooke, and they took that away from me. They took it away. Devin Taylor was gonna get her revenge and destroy. I'm sorry. I messed up. It's not Dana Brooke. It's Emma's partner. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was on a roll and I ruined it. Moving on. We're gonna get Deanna, a new NXT diva. I think she had a match previously. I think I don't know. I'll have to look back. On the WWE Network for only $9.99 a month. I'll have to look back and see if she had another match because I think she did. I don't think they were calling her Deanna at the time. I think it was one of the matches where they didn't give the jobber a name at all. But I'm pretty sure I saw her before. Versus Nia Jax. I don't have much to say about this match because Nia Jax just played with her like a rag doll. It was bad. It wasn't even a good jobber match. It was just bad. I don't know. Any thoughts on this match?
Yeah, this match was definitely a squasher. She definitely just beat her down, threw her around, kicked her while she was down and whatnot. There was nothing really to this match. Deanna, for some reason, reminded me of Daria. I don't know why, but like I saw her and I was like, Daria? Is it Daria? Is that you, Daria? I don't think it was, but they look similar nonetheless. Nia Jax she ain't playing around. She wants that NXT Women's title. She is not playing games, people. Look out! And she is one big lady. She is swole. She is huge. Like she'd probably hurt me, and I I kind of fear for my life a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I feel like she's big enough and obviously powerful enough that they don't need to have jobber matches like this. Like they could have divas, take her to the limit to, give them a chance. They don't need to just have them be thrown around like rag dolls. I think WWE does that too much with big guys or, big, divas too much. But anyway. Next. They reviewed the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match featuring Dawson and Wilder defeating the VaudeVillians. You remember that match, right? The one that we didn't get to see in its entirety. Yeah, that match. Because show it on the network, WWE. Just show it. I want to see the whole. Just show it. Any thoughts on this? Since they're having the rematch tonight on NXT,
My only thoughts is why didn't they show this match when it was happening? I need to go grab a tissue because this main event it made me sad. I'll be back in a second.
It did. It indeed made me sad too. It made me so sad. He's actually going to get some tissues. That boy is actually going to get some tissues right now. Anyway, so I'm gonna wait actually and see if he gets some tissues because I will. This is what you get on the Insta Classic Wrestling podcast. We actually go and we get tissues when we sad, but we'll get to that match when we get to it. We're not gonna give you some previews. We're not gonna spoil nothing for you. We're gonna wait. He must be going a long way to get tissues right now. I don't want to move on because there's a important part of the show that I want to get his thoughts on, but he'll be back in a minute. So we're just going to wait. Also, currently right now, if you're watching this live, you can go on to the WWEshop.com and you can get 20% off your order. Just a thought. Just if you want to go get like a t-shirt or something, you get 20% off on WWEshop.com right now. Anyway, moving on. I was just selling some stuff for WWEshop.com. You didn't get any tissues. You just lied to us. We can't hear you either.
I just had an excuse to get up to go to the bathroom, so that was it.
All right. So he's really not sad at the match. He lied to us.
I'm still sad. I just didn't.
So next, we got a quick update that William Regal had gone through successful neck surgery and hopefully will have a speedy recovery. I was not aware that he was going to have neck surgery. I didn't know he had any issues with his neck. So I'm glad that the surgery was successful. Hopefully he is back, in quick time, but enough that he recovers well. Because if you heard the news, they're losing some of their trainers because they freaking fired Billy Gunn. Anyway, any thoughts on that update that we got on William Regal, or Billy Gunn being fired?
Yeah, it was nice that they update us on William Regal because I didn't know about that either. If you watch Breaking Ground, he looks fine to me, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, Billy Gunn did get fired. I was surprised by that. I think he failed a drug test or something. A drug test for PEDs, not a drug test for like weed or anything. So I don't know. It's unfortunate, but
I don't know. Moving on, because that just made me upset today. So next we see, this was the segment that made absolutely no sense at all, and let's get into it. We see Bayley randomly running in through a back door because the cameraman just happens to be there. He just happens to be there when she's coming through. It's just a surprise. She's looking for Alexa Bliss, who earlier, as we know, stole her title. Bayley just happens to turn and sees Alexa Bliss with the WWE photographer taking pictures of her with the belt, because apparently WWE photographers will just take a picture of anybody with any belt ever. They don't care. Which was again kind of Kind of weird. Alexa drops the belt and runs off. Bailey picks it up and turns around where Nia Jax is blocking her way. Alexa hits Bailey from behind, knocking her to the ground. She says, "That's what you get, Bailey. That's what you get." Nia Jax picks up the title, and Alexa slowly backs off. Nia looks at the title and hands it back to Bailey and walks away. So maybe that's a little bit of a preview to what they're gonna. I don't know. And then Dean Ambrose comes and he took the title too, and then
R-Truth.
Joe took it, R-Truth took it, Little Jimmy took it, everybody took it because let's be honest, Vince McMahon wrote this segment. He wrote this whole segment because it made no sense, and it felt like something that Vince McMahon would put in this show. I don't know. Any thoughts on this segment that was weird and had no logic in it at all?
I mean, it was weird, but come on. You know, the segments when R-Truth was still in that title was the greatest thing on Raw at that time. When he had when he gave Barrett the little potato bag, and he took the replica belt out of the potato bag, and R-Truth still had the real belt. Come on, we know this is the good thing of everything. I don't know why this segment happened, but it set up a match between Alexa Bliss and Bailey, so I was excited for it. I want to see how they're gonna throw Nia Jax in this equation too, because she just throwing people around at this point. So,
and Eva Marie apparently, because I don't know. Anyway, moving on, we have to the main event of the evening. All right, no, sorry, we're not that far. I moved down in my notes and I was confused for a second. Anyway, we're not at the main event. We're at what should have been the main event, even though, this is the match that made us sad. But, NXT Tag Team title match, the rematch with, well, not really the rematch, but, rematch with the title on the line, I guess. Dash and Dawson versus the VaudeVillians. So apparently Big Cass is out. If you watched last week, apparently he has an MCL injury because WWE will do anything to keep Cass and Enzo out of the title picture. Anything ever. Mm-hmm. So, in the beginning of this match, I felt like we saw a more intense side of Aiden English, a more serious kind of, which I like. Dash and Dawson eventually began to dissect Aiden's knee like they did with Big Cass, because they will take Big Cass and Enzo out of any title. Anyway, sorry, almost got onto a rant there. But I like this match. Dash and Dawson still are a bit bland and generic for me, but I do like their kind of a little bit of an old school tag team feel. Corey Graves kind of mentioned it a little bit, kind of talking about like Arn Anderson, kind of those, those guys type of feel, which I like. I just feel like they need to kind of push them a little bit more and, develop their characters a little bit more, just because we don't know much about them still. We just know that they're a random tag team that attack people for title shots, because that's how it works. You attack people and you get what you want. But, sadly, Dawson and Wilder win via submission. And I had the same exact feeling with Dawson and Wilder winning the titles as I did with Blake and Murphy winning the titles. That was my thought. That was.
No, when Blake and Murphy won the titles, you were like, "Oh, this is exciting! I remember that day because they won it by surprise."
And I was still like, because they shouldn't have won it. It's gonna be the same title reign, just boring and bland and. Can somebody else win the titles now? You know, like Enzo and get out of here, Enzo and Cass.
It's about to get weird, Casey. just continue.
Thoughts on this match?
Yes, this match made me sad. I'm still sad to this day about this match. Well, I just watched it today. But I'm sad. My VaudeVillians got dethroned. I wonder if they bringing them to the main roster then, because they haven't had the titles for that long. But I know they're over as over can get with the fans, so it's kind of like maybe.
Kind of like Enzo and Cass.
I mean, yeah, I don't know why they hate Enzo and Cass so much. I think they're racist or beardist or weird facial hairist or something. I don't know. But you know, I was surprised by this match. It surprised me. It was kind of cool to see a title change hands on an NXT show though, and not just a takeover. It wasn't like predictable. I thought that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this knee stuff they're going after. You know, this leg stuff, but they're getting brutal out there. I missed the Shatter Machine though. They gotta keep hitting that. That's one of my favorite moves ever. But yeah, I want to see what they're gonna do with Dawson Wilder. I like him better than Blake and Murphy personally.
Yeah. So anyway, that I'm gonna say that was the main event of the evening, but you know that wasn't the end of the show. So that's why I said it's not the main event of the evening. But next, after one of the little WWE Network commercials that I still don't know what to call them because they're kind of commercials, but they're not. We see Dash and Dawson in the back kind of celebrating their win. You know, they worked for 12 years to get to this point. And yeah. So, moving on, any thoughts on that? You know, they're 12 years working so hard for that one moment. I can't hear you again. I can't. I can't. Nothing.
Okay, and I'll fix it later. I did, but nothing.
Okay,
Nothing?
there we go.
Okay. I didn't know they'd been in the business for 12 years, but I thought that's kind of a little cool little bit of information. But you know, I want to know what they were going to do with them. I'm interested.
All right. And we're all interested in the next interesting segment of interest. Samoa Joe comes out to the ring to hopefully explain his actions last week, which I mean don't need to be explained because obviously he wants to win the NXT title. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Anyway, he says that he did what he did because we are defined by two things: the choice that we make and the actions that we put behind them. He said, and when they announced the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, Finn Balor came to Joe and asked him to be his partner, and Joe made a choice. Not only did he make a choice, he put action behind it. He says he threw Finn on his back and he carried him through the very best NXT had to offer, and they won it all. He said, then amid the celebration, Joe asked Finn to make a choice and give him a title shot, and much to Finn's credit, he made the right choice, but put no action behind it. In fact, he let William Regal walk right in and put Joe in a battle royal for the shot that Finn had already given him. Joe says that putting him in a battle royal is insulting because the very second he stepped foot in NXT, he was owed, and more importantly, he is entitled to an NXT championship match. Finn comes out to the ring on a mission. Refs hurry out to keep them separated. Joe throws a ref into Finn and then attacks him and puts him to sleep. Then he grabs the title and holds it over Finn. Any thoughts on this last segment of the night?
Yeah, I like this segment. I love heel Samoa Joe. I just need him to say, he can't say WWE.
I can't.
He need what? You should be able to hear me.
Okay.
I see
Now,
my levels. But I like this segment. I think Joe can't say this because it's WWE. He needs to be like, I am Samoa Joe and I am professional wrestling. He needs to say it, but he can't say it because professional wrestling is not a real thing with WWE. I I'm interested. I don't know why I have to say that every time, but I am. I'm intrigued by this feud. It's a good feud. I know it's gonna pay big dividends when the match actually comes at Takeover in London, whenever that is. I'm excited. I am excited to see what's gonna happen with Samoa Joe and Finn Balor because I know they can put on a good match together. I wonder how long it's gonna take Samoa Joe to get to the main roster because it shouldn't take that long, but who knows?
I mean, it shouldn't have taken, Finn Balor or Sami Zayn that long, but where is Sami Zayn? Anyway, so yeah, that is our review of NXT. Little bit of a shaky review. We gotta get back into the thing, the groove. That's the word I was looking for. The groove. Yeah, we're totally out of it. We haven't done reviews in a couple weeks, but that's gonna be our NXT review. We are gonna be having our breaking ground kind of review video coming up. Hopefully we'll do that Tuesday. If if nothing else comes up, and then I'm trying to think any other big videos we have. We have Survivor Series coming up in a couple.
That'll be next Sunday.
Next Sunday. We might have a guest on that because a friend of mine wanted to come on, but we'll see. And apparently the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast T-shirt is just gonna say "I'm interested." I think we've decided that.
Yeah.
Whenever we just we're working on T-shirt designs, so hopefully we'll have something out, to advertise the podcast and then get it out to the millions and millions of the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. There's like 5 of you. Let's be honest. There's like 5 that watch the show, but we're building it up. Yeah, that is. We will be seeing you. That's how you build things. That is how you build things. We will see you on. Can you guess it? You know what we're gonna see you on? We're gonna see you on the Flippity Dippity. Peace out.